Hello, good evening and welcome to Prime Business with me, Pius Kojobaka. Our lead story is this very moment. Senior finance lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School, Dr. Priscilla Chimbesi-Baffour, is cautioning against the over-dependence on imports to stabilize the exchange rate. According to her, there must be a deliberate effort to invest more into production to limit the importation of some goods into the country. Her comment follows a report which shows that business confidence in the banking sector dipped due to the rapid exchange rate depreciation.
Exchange rate, I will say that it means we need to limit the extent to which we are dependent on imports. And so, for example, are there conversations, are there attempts for us to, for instance, produce a lot of the things that are not very important yet imported into the country? We know that, yes, some classes of imports, there's nothing we can do because we do not have the expertise, such as, medicines, other highly technology-driven goods and services that we are not at the forefront to be able to produce locally. But when it comes to basic things like food, drinks, and other things, I believe that light manufacturing, I believe that as a country we should get back to basics and produce some of these things to ease the persistent, pressure on the cedi. And even when it comes to the local production, you ask ourselves, the firms that are losing confidence in the environment because of the currency, how integrated are they locally? A lot of them, they do not even get their raw materials in the country. So it means that they are also supplying the currency for the dollar, and that also puts pressure. So indeed, I think that we are really getting to a point where we need to get back to basics and tackle the core issues to solve the problem.
Now, the Bank of Ghana has revealed that it will stay on the path to tight monetary policy to help sustain the cedi's recovery. The central bank also expects government to focus on fiscal consolidation going into the election period. More in this report.
In that, the Bank of Ghana will still go ahead with measures that will help maintain tight liquidity on the market. This could result in some policy rate hikes in the coming months to help control the amount of money in circulation. The Bank of Ghana believes that this move may go a long way to ensure we don't have too much cedis in circulation that could fuel dollar purchases, as some individuals may take steps to hedge against inflation. The central bank also believes that this approach of the tight monetary policy will help in bringing down inflation rate on the market, which has been on the downward path in recent times. The Bank of Ghana is also looking forward to government pressing ahead with policy measures to control its expenditure and raise the required revenue that will also help in dealing with confidence issues about the economy. The Bank of Ghana is also signaling that it is committed to improve dollar support for the market through its auction programs. It believes these measures should help sustain the recent gains made by the Ghana cedi.
The Chief Executive of the Ghana Gas, Dr. Ben Asante, has raised concerns over persistent revenue collection inefficiencies that are hindering growth in the gas sector. Speaking at the 2024 roundtable discussion here in Accra, Dr. Asante called for urgent reforms to address these challenges which continue to undermine the sector's financial stability. More in this report.
The 2024 roundtable discussion was held under the theme, Building an Effective Gas Sector Revenue Management System, the Role of Stakeholders. According to the CEO of Ghana Gas, Dr. Ben Asante, inefficiencies in revenue collection remain a significant challenge facing the sector.
There is an insufficient collection at the tail end of the value chain. When you look at the power value chain, so those who provide fuel, for instance, fuel suppliers, and those who generate power, and then the transmitters of the power and the distributors of the power, and certainly the end users of the power. So when you look at each of these gates along the value chain, we needed to address any inefficiencies that are there to help us do more of the collection or to balance the perceived imbalance between our revenues and our cost.
Deputy Minister of Energy John Sani highlighted the positive impact of the cash waterfall mechanism on the gas sector.
The cash waterfall mechanism and the natural gas clearinghouse to ensure equitable revenue flow to the service providers within the energy space. Whereas this mechanism have provided some recognizable relief to the sector, it is quite obvious that much more ought to be done to ensure their effectiveness.
Minister for Public Enterprises Joseph Kudjo stressed the importance of privatizing the ECG to enhance operational efficiency.
Why are we afraid of the word private? But let me draw our attention to private schools. They run, right? And you'll be surprised how ready and willing people with the ability to pay would send their kids to private schools and pay. Readily, willingly, nobody forces them. But because we recognize quality service, that quality service must be paid for. But when it comes to a critical service like electricity, that we don't want to subject ourselves to right payment that would enable ECG also invest in it. If we don't do that, the alternative is that then government should consider
Now, the Consumer Protection Agency has resolved to mobilize 1,000 Ghanaians to picket the Ministry of Trade and Industry until government takes the necessary steps to ensure the draft Consumer Protection Bill is passed. Addressing journalists at a press briefing, Chief Executive Officer of the Consumer Protection Agency, Kofi Kapito, said the group will continue to advocate tirelessly for the protection of the consumer.
CSOs dedicated to the consumer rights, we will continue to advocate tirelessly for the protection of every consumer in the nation. We will not rest until consumer protection is passed and enforced. We will officially petition His Excellency, the President of Ghana, the Speaker of Parliament, and leadership in Parliament. Then also intend to mobilize 1,000 Ghanaian consumers to picket at the premises of the Ministry of Trade until we see that the ministry has taken the necessary steps to ensure that the draft Consumer Protection Bill makes its way to Parliament via Cabinet. We pledge to work collaboratively with government, businesses, and other stakeholders to ensure that this law is enacted, it is implemented effectively, and benefits all Ghanaians. I reiterate our urgent plea to the government: introduce the Consumer Protection Bill to Parliament without further delay. The people of Ghana deserve no less.
In more business news, the Ghana Civil Society Cocoa Platform is predicting that the country will record its lowest cocoa output in over 2 decades in the coming cocoa season. Now, this, according to the group, is partly due to illegal mining activities and the overall impact of climate change on the sector. There is more in this report.
Global cocoa production has been on the decline in recent years, partly due to climate change and disease. In Ghana, the situation is no different, with the Ghana Civil Society Cocoa Platform predicting the country's lowest cocoa output in over 2 decades for the upcoming season. Speaking at a press conference in Accra, the group forecasted production to be slightly above 500,000 metric tons, a level comparable only to the 2002 and 2003 cocoa season. Francis Tenor, a member of the group and president of the Macron Cocoa Farmers Association, highlighted illegal mining activities as one of the challenges contributing to this decline.
Ghana is set to experience its lowest cocoa output in over 2 decades, with production expected to be slightly about 500,000 metric tons, comparably only to the 2002-2003 cocoa season. The 2023-2024 cocoa season was marked by significant challenges that affected and continue to affect farmers and the broader cocoa industry in Ghana. Illegal mining activities have severely damaged cocoa farmlands, threatening the lives and livelihoods of farmers, and dependence. Unfortunately, no clear pragmatic strategies have been proposed to tackle this problem, which threatens the very survival of the cocoa industry.
With higher expectations ahead of the new farm gate price announcement later this month, the group is also calling on authorities to support licensed local cocoa buying companies to prevent their collapse and keep them competitive with foreign companies.
The problem we had last year was that government couldn't get the syndication loan on time. So they asked the international companies to support in purchasing the cocoa. But those local companies like Fedco, Cocoa Merchant, Abrabopa, and all those companies, they don't have any big brother anywhere. So they had no money to buy the beans. What they decided to do was to go to the commercial bank to borrow at an exchange. I mean, you know the interest rate between 25 to 32% in Ghana, and that is not competitive. And so that is the problem. That's the issue we are emphasizing. That it is good that Cocoa Board wants to redo what they did last year, ask the big brothers to support, but we are throwing caution that in doing so, if steps are not put in place, then we stand a risk of collapsing the local buying companies, which will be problematic because when you go to the very, very villages, the deep villages, these Cargills and others are not there. It is these small local companies that are buying from the farmers. And so if there is no money for them to buy, then what will happen? They will connive with people and then they will take it to our neighbors to sell.
Despite a predicted 65 to 70% rise in the farm gate price of cocoa for the 2024 and 2025 season, the survival of the sector continues to be threatened by the numerous challenges facing cocoa farmers in the country. Meanwhile, the Ghana Civil Society Cocoa Platform, an independent campaign and advocacy group comprising of all major stakeholders in the cocoa industry, say they will remain committed to fighting for better policies and demanding improvement in the livelihoods of farmers across the country.
Leadership and Human Development Company CTL Africa has launched the Live to Lead conference aimed at transforming individuals in positions to drive growth for businesses and the society. At a meeting to launch the 8th edition of the Live to Lead conference, Chief Executive of CTL Africa Leadership, Samuel Eyim, urged corporate leaders to take advantage of the conference to build the capacity of their human resource.
The 2024 Live to Lead conference is themed Leading for Transformation, Changed Minds, Changed Lives. The main focus is to improve the skills, ideologies, and knowledge of individuals, political and business leaders to drive growth for the country. In an interview with Joy Business, Chief Executive of CTL Africa Leadership, Samuel Eyim, said the conference presents an opportunity for leaders to gain alternative knowledge on building wealth for their organizations.
When we talk leadership for us at the John Maxwell family, we believe that everybody is a leader. And sometimes that's one of the things we like to clarify. Leadership is not about the positions. It's not a CEO, it's not a president, a minister, and what. It's not about titles. Leadership is about your ability to transform lives, to influence life. In fact, in the past, we've brought students as low as secondary school students to the conference. Executives, corporate executives, church leaders, women leaders, youth leaders, everybody will benefit from this conference because it's a conference that is going to talk about the mind. And so it doesn't matter your age, your position, your class, your whatever, is going to help you.
Leadership coach Yao Pebi added that the growth of the country hinges on the transformation of various sectors of the economy.
We know enough from history and from present happenings that everything rises and falls on leadership. Everything. Everything. Economy, yes, on leadership. Galamsey, yes, on leadership. Everything rises and falls on leadership. But leadership itself rises and falls on the extent of transformation of the leader or leaders. It takes deeply transformed people to deeply transform anything. But where does transformation start? The mind. And so if we want to see leadership, which changes everything, and transform people that change everything, then we need to see transformed minds.
The Live to Lead conference, which will be held on 4th October 2024, will present individuals with the opportunity to network and share knowledge.
The Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, has initiated moves for the implementation of a regional digital platform for the systematic evaluation and reporting on the regional gender equality and women's empowerment commitment within the ECOWAS sub-region. According to the director of the ECOWAS Gender Development Center, Sandra Feto, this has become necessary due to the widespread gender disparities and inequalities despite the progress made in recent years for gender inclusion. She was speaking at the opening ceremony of the ECOWAS Gender Observatory.
The training is part of ECOWAS's ambition to build capacity of focal points of the Sub-Regional Bloc's Gender Center. It is also aimed at building the capacity of civil society stakeholders from member states with knowledge, skills, and abilities to operationalize and manage the digital platform. In her address, Director of the ECOWAS Gender Development Center, Sandra Olate Fato, said the lack of a monitoring mechanism can be attributed to the pervasive gender disparities.
Several studies have shown that the promotion of gender equality and the empowerment of women and girls can be enhanced through strong monitoring, evaluation, and reporting mechanisms, as well as robust data collection, analysis, and database systems. By enabling organizations to track, analyze, and report on their performance in various spheres, strong monitoring and evaluation mechanisms often lead to better transparency and accountability, ensure that resources are used effectively and efficiently, strengthen decision-making, and encourage diversity of thought and opinions, which are all critical for the promotion of gender equality and women's empowerment.
In her speech on behalf of the Minister of Gender, Children and Social Protection, head of the Department of Gender, Fosine Champong, said the essence of the workshop cannot be overemphasized as it provides equal opportunities to ensure no one is left behind.
Data analysis and management is vital in the discharge of our work as gender experts and advocates, as it helps to properly plan and inform decisions. Therefore, the essence of this training workshop cannot be underestimated, as it recognizes our sub-region as a just and secure society in which men and women have equal opportunities to participate, decide, control, and benefit from all development initiatives, thus ensuring that no one is left behind in the developmental process in the member states. Again, this workshop is timely as it brings together decision makers from ECOWAS member states and other key stakeholders to gain the vital knowledge in data collection, data collation, and reporting on ECOWAS gender programs in member states to further strengthen gender equality and women's empowerment.
Head of Planning, Research, Monitoring and Evaluation at ECOWAS Gender Development Center, Audu Ahmed Guma, explained challenges often faced with real-time reporting when it comes to gender activities carried out have necessitated the building of the platform.
One other challenge that we have is in the member states and at the regional level is the absence of a database mechanism where we report on the state of gender in our member states. So the ECOWAS Gender Observatory is a kind of mechanism that provides the statistics on the state of gender in our member states. We have quite a number of indicators on education, enrollment and retention, on health, the health indicators, on peace and security indicators, on political participation, on economic participation, quite a wide range of indicators through which we report, on the state of gender in the ECOWAS member states. So this digital platform also provides the basis for the database that we in ECOWAS, our member states and our partners can assess, to understand how gender is evolving and going on in the member states.
The ECOWAS Gender Observatory is an online knowledge management platform used to monitor gender-related instrument implementation.
Prime Business. Some more companies are promising discounts as part of this year's EcoBank Journeys Habitat Fair. G&J Technical Services says they are poised to offer prospective homeowners amazing offers at this year's fair. Here's Managing Director of G&J Technical Services, Matthew Kojo Isiedu.
This is a backup power company. We are solely involved in the supply, installation, maintenance of diesel generators. The company was set up in 1994 to provide power, other forms of power to the Ghanaian economy. We have a strength in various industries. If you look at healthcare, we have quite a lot of presence there. Korle Bu, Komfanoche, Nyaho. If you look at manufacturing, Kasapreko. If you look at banking. So we've managed to put our foot in various industries because at the end of the day, for these places to run and run effectively, they need a good source of backup power. And that's what we try to do. And to add on to that, we have a very good team, a very good, strong technical team that is highly trained to be able to support the product, because at the end of the day, you just don't want to sell. You want to support, look after the product, because at the end of the day, that speaks to who you are as an individual. So one of our key selling points is we offer 24/7 after-sales support, which means that your name is James? Okay. That means if James calls me at 2 a.m. and he tells me his generator is not starting, it's not responding, there's an issue, I have a caveat or a KPI that within an hour, if you're in Accra, I need to be at your house or wherever it is you are to be able to work on that genset and make it start. Because at a time like that, your security is in question, your safety is in question, and your comfort is in question. And because those are a priority to you, it's also a priority to me. And I need to be able to give you a solution. So I'll say we have a very good team who supports a very good, high-quality product. So the head office is in Accra. We also have a warehouse and training facility at Hacho, but we have a branch in Kumasi as well. We are in Asukwa on the Mall Stadium Road. It's in a prime location as well. So in terms of locations, those are our places.
Where can we locate you? Let's say someone coming from Takwa. Navrongo coming to Accra where do we locate you guys? What's the direction?
So we usually say Abosokan on the Korle Bu Montreal Road. So I think if you even type that into Google, you'll be able to find us. So we're based in Accra, in Abosokan on the Korle Bu Montreal Road. That's where the head office is based.
Right. Talking about the EcoBank Journeys Habitat Fair, this happens to be your second time.
Yes.
From last year's experience, why are you back this time?
I mean, no matter the industries I mentioned, healthcare, banking, at the end of the day, these people live in homes. And at the end of the day, once their home is supported well, they can go to work and work effectively. So residential homes is very important to us. And we came up with our range, maybe let me go back, our range of gensets, we also focus on the smaller ones that can take care of homes. So there is a clear fit there so that we can provide some of these homeowners with generators, provide them with after-sale supports. And I think we did some good business from the last fair. So for us, it's also another channel where we can introduce ourselves to new clients, new prospects, and introduce to them what we have.
So still on why you guys are back, this year, what should we expect from you guys?
The G&J, we try not to change so much in what we do. We're a 30-year-old company. We stick to what we know, which is a quality product supported by a highly skilled team.
You can visit the EcoBank Journeys Mini Fair at the Good Park near Accra Mall, and the fair will start from 13th to 15th September from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily. The admission is, of course, free. Be there to engage with various stakeholders in the housing value chain. EcoBank Journeys Habitat Fair. Get a house, make it a home. I truly appreciate your time with me, Pius Kojo Baka. Sports is next.